Alright, welcome everybody. This is my tier list for Rocket 1v1's. Alright, so it's a pretty basic tier list here. We have Fair Fight in the center with your easiest picks to go after at the top, and the hardest picks to go after or people you should avoid at the bottom. I just want you to know that the individual tiers will not be in any single order. Like if I put a character to the left of another character, that doesn't mean they're an easier pick or a harder pick. I'll actually say if they're an easier or a harder pick when I'm putting them there. So just know that they're not in order from left to right. For those of you who are new to Rocket, I would suggest taking this guide and using it as a guiding tool in Doom Match or something to see who you can go after picks first and start getting confident with going after people. Obviously start with the people at the top and then move to the people lower in the tiers and then see if you can pick off those people in Doom Match more and more often. Eventually with practice you'll be able to gain the confidence to take on people consistently within the middle bracket. Obviously I'm a person with 100 hours on this character, so just know that I have a lot more practice than most people, very concerningly, but I wouldn't say mastered it because I'm always learning more on this character. That's why I fucking love him. But if you have good movement and you have about the same aim level as me, and your opponent is a similar skill level, and it's an isolated 1v1 fight at close range, which is your optimal range at Rocket, this list I think accurately applies to all these characters. Starting off here with Adam Warlock. Honestly, I was thinking of putting this guy in Ignore, just because, at the end of the day, he's a guy that can just restore his health at the click of a button and can just, soul bond and all that. But if you're able to catch him by surprise, usually you're able to kill him. If he's alone, it's down to a pretty fair fight. It's just down to whoever has the better aim, whoever has the better movement, whatever. But honestly, most of the time I would ignore him. But if he's low, obviously chase him down. He can be pretty easy to win against. But if he has his cooldowns up, you're pretty much not even going to be able to kill him. But he'll also have trouble killing you if you've mastered your movements, so most of the time I would ignore, but I think it's a pretty fair fight at the end of the day. That's my reasoning. Obviously he has a hit scan weapon, you have projectiles, but if you have nailed your movement down, it's pretty difficult to hit a Rocket Raccoon as Warlock, speaking from experience, even if they're not crazy at movement like I am, even if they're just decent. I feel like it is a pretty fair fight, and that's why I'm just gonna leave him there for now. I might change my opinion later, I don't know, I might put him in Ignore, but I think it's a pretty fair fight. Alright, so Black Panther. I'm gonna be real. If you're good enough at your movement as Rocket Raccoon, you're essentially immortal to this character. He cannot touch you. Sure, your Black Panther mains in the chat will probably say, oh, but I can dash up to you in the air. Well, I can also just dash out of the way in the air as well. So it's kind of you really, at the end of the day, you want to kind of ignore him. But I've still killed Black Panthers as a Rocket before. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I've even killed one in a clip before I had in a video, so it's not impossible. But it's definitely in the Black Panthers' favor. Obviously, they're a diver. They're specialized in killing healers, especially if you're alone. But it's not impossible to win as Rocket Raccoon against this guy. It's honestly if your dash tech is on point, like I am, it's definitely within the realm of possibility to win against him. But it's definitely in the Black Panther's favor though. But most of the time, if you're just trying to heal out your team, you really just want to dash out of the way and just ignore them a lot of the time. Pretty much the same thing I said for Adam Warlock. Just ignore them and just dodge their shots, keep on healing your team, yada yada, etc. Obviously, don't go for 1v1s with this guy unless you absolutely have to, or unless he forces you to. But pretty much, if you're good enough at movement, Black Panther is not a character you really worry about as Rocket. Literally just dash up. If he's dashing straight at you on the ground, just dash straight up. If he tries to dash at you in the air, just obviously predict his dash and then dash in the air again. He misses you and then he falls back down to the ground. Pretty easy. Yeah, you're pretty unkillable as Rocket as Black Panther. Or against the Black Panther, my bad. So, I don't think he's much to worry about, but if you're trying to fight him, I definitely would not recommend it, but it's still winnable, for sure. So next, we have Black Widow. Black Widow is very interesting. You think Rocket would actually be really good against them, but at the end of the day, it actually comes down to about a fair fight. Just because if you're I mean, obviously, if you're up against the average Black Widow, let's be real, you're gonna win as Rocket. They won't be able to hit you. But if you're up against a good Black Widow and you get into like the comfort zone where you're like, oh, I'm gonna shred them, and they do manage to hit that stun combo, you're usually dead. I'm not gonna lie. But if they don't, then they're usually dead. So at the end of the day, it just comes down to whoever has mastered their character more. If she hits your stun on you, she wins. If you manage to dodge her kick, dodge her stun, you win. It's simple as that. Alright, for Hulk, I'm thinking in their favor, but at the same time, like, he's a dive tank, so most of the time as Rocket, unless you're with your teammates and can help to shred them, I would honestly say just ignore him. But like, Rocket is really, really good at damaging him, but I'm still gonna put him at ignore, just because like, most of the time, unless you're with your team, you really just want to ignore any dive tank, let's be real. Cap? I mean, I've killed a lot of caps, but if you're alone, I would honestly say, just ignore him, really. But I've killed a lot of caps, so I don't know, maybe I'd put him in fair fight. I don't know. Like, really, you really just want to be ignoring these dive tanks, because you're Rocket, you can just choose to not even bother with them and just dash out of the way, obviously, move out of the way and keep healing your team. Pretty easy. I'd say, yeah, for sure ignore. Alright, Cloak and Dagger. This is a pretty easy in your favor. If they use the bubble, then it's really in your favor, because all you have to do is hit your shots on the Cloak, which has a pretty wide hitbox in my opinion, a little too wide, because usually they'll just switch to Cloak to try and fight you instead of just staying in Dagger form, because they have to protect themselves, obviously. But in Cloak, they're a lot easier to hit, so you'd end up winning a lot of fights if they don't have their bubble. Even if they do flash you, you're usually at such a close range as Rocket that the flash doesn't even matter, you're able to just see them anyways. So if they don't have anyone else to help them and they don't have their bubble, it's highly in your favor in my opinion. It's not easy mode, because they can still win if you're obviously whiffing your shots and they don't have to aim, but it's really in your favor if you can just hit a decent volley. Alright, Doctor Strange is someone you probably shouldn't ignore. I'm going to put it in their favor just because obviously if he does hit you, he hits you for a lot of damage, and if he does hit you with a solid shot, I'm just going to call him shotgun shells because that's essentially what he shoots, shotguns, shotgun bullets. He has he has this charge which he can just press a button and then boom, he does a ton of damage at close range. So like ideally you don't want to really be fighting Strange, but if he doesn't hit you, you can really shred him, you can shred through his shield. I've won against Strange's quite a few times, but usually you're at a disadvantage, especially if you don't know movement on a T, and he's able to hit you with just, all he needs to do is hit you with a single decent like shot spread, and all he has to do is press a button and you're pretty much dead. But it's still winnable, but it's definitely in his favor for sure. I wouldn't recommend even bothering unless you're with a teammate. Alright, next here I have Groot also going in their favor. It's not impossible to win against a Groot. Same thing with Strange. If they do hit you, they do a lot of damage, especially if you're near their walls. Like, obviously, it's pretty easy to just remove yourself from the area of the walls. But man, does Groot have such a good range? It's actually kind of nuts. But if you're able to stay really close to him, and stay close enough that you dodge his, like, big branch that he, like, throws out at you as his main attack, and, like, you're able to dodge his melees and all that, it's winnable. They have a huge hitbox, huge hitbox. You can shred them pretty quickly. But like again, same thing with Strange. Like, just do it with the teammate, man. Let them take away some of the attention from you, and then you just shred them. Help to shred. That's the same thing with a lot of the tanks here as Rocket. Is that when you're with a teammate, you just shred tanks, man. If you're in a 2v1 with you and another tank versus a tank, and no one needs healing, I expect you guys to be shredding tanks, because man, Rocket does a fuck ton of headshot damage on slow moving easy to hit tanks. It's like crazy. You're like a second Wolverine in my opinion. He does that much damage. I really need to see more people doing these tank shredding things. I need to see more people doing tank shredding. There we go. I finally said it. I'm sorry guys, I'm a little sick, so I can't speak right or think right a little bit. I don't know if I have COVID or not, but I don't even care to check really. I just know I'm sick. So bear with me here, please. Alright, continuing the list. Yeah, Groot definitely in their favor, but yeah, definitely winnable still. Alright, next we have Hawkeye. This one is like as fair as a fight as you can get, especially after his nerf, where he actually has to track you, the small little tiny rodent on a screen, in order to build up his charge in order to one-shot headshot you as a tiny small little rodent dashing on a screen. So like, he can one-shot you, but at the end of the day, I think it's pretty fair because, like, I don't know, if your movement is good enough, you win. If his aim is good enough, he wins. I feel like it's a pretty fair exchange in a 1v1 with him. Like, of course I'm gonna get mad that I got one-shotted as a rocket, as a Hawkeye still, but I gotta admit, if they're able to hit that shot, like, yeah, I think they kind of deserve that, you know? Like, if they're able to hit this tiny little fucking toothpick on their screen, you know, kudos to them. Like, it is a pretty fair fight at the end of the day, I think. A lot of his stuff is dodgeable. Like, if he tries to Q you to slow you down, literally just dash. It's that easy. He misses you, and then hit him with a volley. He'll try to aim for you again. He'll charge up a shot, dash, volley again. He's usually dead by then. So yeah, pretty fair fight. If he hits you with a shot, good for him. Then yeah, pretty fair fight. Honestly, I'd even say it's a little bit in your favor, but I'm leaning more towards fair fight. Yeah, I think it's fair. Honestly, same thing with Hela, fair fight as well, for pretty much the exact same reasons. Like, you can just, like, dodge a lot of their util that, like, stuns you and whatever, and they have to hit precision shots on this tiny little fucking toothpick on the screen. So, like, I'd say it's pretty fair at the range that I suggested earlier. It's a really fair fight. Obviously, if you're at long range, you're at a disadvantage. But at close range, pretty fair fight. A little bit in your favor, in my opinion, still. Same as Hawkeye. Because obviously snipers are a little bit worse at close range. But still, I mean, let's be real. Snipers should not be as good as they are at close range. I'm all down for them adding reverse damage fall off. Because, let's be real, some of these Helas at close range are kind of crazy. But you can still easily win against them. But at the end of the day, it's a fair fight. It just comes down to whoever has the better aim, better movement, yada yada, so on and so forth. Alright, so Iron Fist. Now, if we're talking actual, like, combat 1v1's, I don't know. It's pretty tough. Obviously, you're pretty much the only healer in the game that can actually, you know, properly escape an Iron Fist and live to fucking tell the tale. Maybe like Mantis can also do the same thing, but like, I don't know. Rocket can just consistently escape Iron Fist, and he's like the only one who can do it, in my opinion, which is why I love playing him, because I just fucking hate Iron Fist. And I unfortunately have to say that I am a past Iron Fist main. And I know, shame me, I hate myself too, don't worry. That 20 hours is never getting wiped off my record. But yeah, he's a fun character to play. You can't blame me. He's like crack. He's like crack a little bit. I don't blame myself for playing him in the past. But like, I don't know. Fighting him in an actual 1v1, I hate to say it, guys, but all you have to do is not shoot him while he's blocking. You hear the doing sound, and you just don't fucking shoot him. That's it. You take away 90% of his power, and then after the doing ends, you literally just dash up and avoid his volley, and then once his volley is done, you kind of have a pretty fair fight on your you kind of have a pretty fair fight on your hands there. But obviously, not shooting him and, you know, dashing up and all that is, you know, the key here to making it a fair fight. But I'd say it's still pretty in their favor in general. But obviously, usually you just want to run away from Iron Fist and keep healing your team. Same thing as Black Panther, kind of just ignore them. Except with Iron Fist, you you'll have a lot more trouble ignoring him since he can really keep up to people consistently in like a very, very annoying fashion that they should totally nerf, like, now. Speaking from experience playing him and against him, because it's a little bit, let's be real, his tracking's a little bit broken, but he definitely is not the strongest character, especially against Rocket. Like, if you're up against a decent Rocket as Iron Fist, you literally just can't kill them. I hate to say it, you're just wasting your time going after them. But like, if you're actually trying to 1v1 him in a fight, it's definitely in his favor, but it is still winnable if you obviously just like avoid shooting him during his parry and then dash up during his volley. I think it's pretty fair. But if you don't do that, then it's like, it goes to hard mode. Like, it's for sure in his favor, but I'm just gonna go with the solid in between there and in their favor instead of just hard mode or fair fight. Oh, and also a tip for dealing with Iron Fist is Rocket Raccoon. If they're coming straight at you and you're on the ground and they're just like right there in front of you, to lose his tracking, dash straight up and then dash at a 45-degree angle to the right in the air, and you actually lose his tracking. It's actually kind of nuts. I didn't know that either until I did it by accident, and then I watched it in a replay. But if you dash straight up while he's coming at you, and then you dash at a 45-degree angle in the air, it actually loses him. So just a tip for you guys who are new to peeling off Iron Fist on Rocket. If he does dash to come after you, he'll usually dash straight up, and he'll actually dash over you and miss you too. So yeah, either way you lose his tracking. So just pro tip. Alright, guess who we have next? My favorite dessert. Iron Man. So many free Iron Men, just thinking they're so safe, up in their armored suit, up in the sky, not expecting a fucking rodent to climb up a wall and dash up to them and fucking destroy them. It's so funny how hard it is to kill a Rocket as Iron Man. I've been playing as Iron Man before that. I've actually, fighting myself as, I fought another Rocket that was doing the same thing as me, and oh my god, I did not realize how painful it is to kill a Rocket as Iron Man. Seriously, a good Rocket, like, you're up in the sky, and there's this fucking little speck, there's a little fly that you have to fucking hit on your screen. Even if he's full gamma charge, Rocket at close range literally still does more DPS than the full gamma charge beam. I'm not even fucking kidding you. I actually have I think it was actually in my Iron Man counter video that I actually had a clip of me straight up beating him with full gamma charge laser, and just straight up out DPSing them even though he was perfectly tracking me. I'll probably throw that in there somewhere, but yeah, it's honestly like, he's really easy to pick off. You essentially, as Iron Man, you essentially can't hit him with your mouse 1. With your mouse 2, good luck tracking this little toothpick on your screen that's dashing around behind you, above you, below you. All of a sudden he just teleports right in front of your face and then you're dead the next instant. It really is just like a fucking jump scare. Speaking from personal experience, sometimes I'm not gonna lie, I fumble as Rocket and I'm kind of out of range, but I'll still win anyways, just because like Rocket's gun at even at range still does pretty decent damage if you're able to land all your shots. But like, man, when Rocket gets up close to his Iron Man, you better be scared. Seriously, you better be scared of this little motherfucker if he gets up close to you in the air. Especially if he has good aim. Man, like, he'll shred you. Just a warning to Iron Man players out there. Seriously. It's so fun to do as Rocket too. Like, being on the receiving end of it is not fun whatsoever, but like, doing it as Rocket, especially your first time doing it, it's like you snorted a fucking line of crack. It's so fun to just go after Iron Man. Good. He's such a good character to kill as Rocket. It's really funny. It's just the whole situation is very funny. Just this little fucking space rat beating this guy in a suit of full armor shooting plasma beams is just hilarious to me. Now, obviously, when I put these characters in easy mode, that doesn't mean that like it's impossible for them to kill you. Especially when you're trying this for the first time, you will still die to them. Believe me. Sometimes I even still die to them. It's very rare though, but like, It's honestly really, it looks really stupid when you do it the first time. You're like, oh shit, why did I do that? That was so stupid. Why did I try to kill that Iron Man? But once you get the hang of it, these characters are very easy to kill and have a low chance of killing you unless like something unlucky just happens to you, or like, I don't know, you straight up just have a whiff moment, and it happens, you know. You don't always win against your counters. It's like, it happens in other games too, like in TF2, you don't always win against Demo Man as Scout, and that's pretty much the closest counter I can think of from another game. Like, it's pretty much straight up just Demo Man and Scout copy and pasted, because his mouse 1 is essentially Demo Man's mouse 1, and, well, his pulse laser doesn't really have anything that Demo Man has, but it's a pretty similar simulation, or situation. So I'd say, yeah, that's a pretty close counter to compare to. Like, you're not always going to win against your hard counters, but just go in knowing that. Oh, and if he's in his ultra charged state, even if he fires missiles at you too, like, you most of the time your hitbox as rocket is literally so small that they'll just completely miss you. I'm not even fucking kidding you. So I wouldn't even worry about the missiles that much. Usually when they're most threatening, they're hitting the ground too, similar to his mouse 1. So if he doesn't try to do the missile gamma ray combo on you, just know that most of the time they'll fucking miss. Sometimes they'll hit you, and you'll be down a bit of health. Maybe you're a little scared then, but it's still very much in your favor, in my opinion. Alright, so Jeff, fair fight? Maybe? I don't know. Now, I want to say in your favor. In your favor is too high, because he actually does quite a bit of damage too. He's very similar to you as Rocket. I don't know. Let me think about it. You know what, now that I think about it more, I'd actually say just ignore Jeff. Because at the end of the day, a good Jeff will just keep on doing that bubble dive tactic. And it's like, or I don't know why I repeated the tactic part, but just bubble dive over and over and over, and you'll end up just wasting a ton of time trying to kill him anyways. But the same thing also happens with you. If he's trying to kill you, dash mouse 2, wall run mouse 2. Like, Jeff versus Rocket Raccoon fight is genuinely one of the most painstakingly drawn out fights of all time, in my opinion. It can be. It's just so funny watching these two goofy ass healers fighting each other and then just running away, pressing a button, running away, pressing a button. It's, yeah, if you ever try to fight a good Jeff or a good Rocket Raccoon as Jeff or Rocket Raccoon, just know you're pretty much wasting your time. You shouldn't be even wasting your time and effort on them. Just keep on healing your team, let's be real. Alright, Loki, in your favor. I'm not gonna lie, Loki is actually really difficult to hit Rocket Raccoon with, just because his projectile speed is very slow too, and it only gets one of them in very short intermediate bursts, and if he doesn't have clones, he basically does like absolutely no damage. If you see a lone Loki, go after him, especially if you know he used his shift already. He's pretty easy to kill, usually a free kill in fact. He has no stun, his invisibility, it doesn't even matter. You can just hold mouse 1, swaying your mouse left to right, and then you'll reveal him, and then all it takes is one bullet to reveal him, and he's permanently revealed, unlike Psylocke. And then it's pretty much over for him. I hate to say it. He's a pretty easy fight. Luna Snow. Luna Snow's, I'm not gonna lie, Luna Snow's a pretty easy fight, in your favor. Not easy mode in my opinion, because she still has her stun, obviously, but with Luna, she has to, the difference between fighting, you're thinking I'm gonna also put Mantis in your favor, but let's be real, Luna actually has to aim her stun. Mantis just has to, let's be real, it's just clicking a button and you stun someone. It doesn't even, like, they could be on the other side of the fucking planet and you still hit them with your stun as Mantis. I'll go over Mantis later, but yeah, like, Luna's stun, you can pretty easily just predict it, dash out of the way, and then once her stun's used up, all you gotta do is just keep dodging and weaving your shots, and if you're able to hit volleys on her, you pretty much win every time. Very much in your favor. The only thing holding her out of easy mode, in my opinion, is that she has her stun and that she can just ult if she has it, but that's not the worst thing in the world. If you get a Luna to use her ult as Rocket Raccoon, that is actually pretty huge. I'm not gonna lie, that's actually what you're going for, in my opinion. to just like bait her into using her ult against you, like scaring her as Rocket Raccoon. Yeah, Luna's a pretty easy fight. The only thing holding her out of EDC mode, in my opinion, is her stun. That's pretty much it. Alright, Magik. Our first, actually very difficult character to kill is Rocket Raccoon. Very difficult to kill, let alone escape too. Her dash is very good, and if she's able to hit that dash swing on you, you're stunned, and you know as Rocket, oh actually, you don't know, I haven't told you yet, but as Rocket, getting stunned, or getting actually hit by a stun, or getting hit by a grapple, especially grapples are your hugest weakness as a Rocket Raccoon. Just know that. If you are grappled, you are essentially dead as this character, unless you have like nailed your movement to a T to escape. Yeah, so if you get grappled, you'll see a common trend with the rest of the hard mode characters and the secret tier character that I will be putting here later. That is that purple tier there. That is a very special someone that is near and dear to my heart, and I hate very much is playing Rocket Raccoon. And I will get to him in a moment, and I'll explain just how fucking broken he is against you. But for now, I'm going to go over Magik. So Magik, basically, very easy to catch up to with, can stun you, and can do a shit ton of damage in a very short amount of time. If you try to kill her, I hate to say it, but she could just keep up pulling fucking infinite health out of her asshole. I hate playing against Magiks, especially when I'm not hitting full shots on them. Like, all they have to do is press a few buttons, and they literally gain half their HP pullback. I hate it so much. Ugh. It's not impossible to win. If you're hitting all your shots, it can actually be pretty easy to kill her. But if she's actually doing damage to you and combining that with her actual portals and all that, yeah, she can just undo the damage that you've already done and then kill you pretty quickly if you're not dodging her. So yeah, definitely a hard character to fight. I would not recommend at all. I would just recommend avoiding her unless she's pretty low HP already, and even then I'd be like, nah, I'd rather not, thank you. Yeah, Magik's definitely hard mode. Alright, Magneto. I'm thinking ignore, but to be real, I've won against quite a few Magnetos and not have to ignore them because their poke damage is dodgeable enough to win against, in my opinion. I'll put it in their favor because if they do hit you, or if they do hit you with that the push, if they do hit you with the push stun and then like poke you, it usually is definitely in their favor at that point. But yeah, I don't know, I'd throw Magneto in their favor. It's pretty much the same thing with Strange. Just like, don't let them hit you in the first place and work on shredding them, and if you get low, just run away. But it's definitely in their favor if you decide to stick through in a full 1v1. But it takes, as I'm saying, this is a list made for people who have already conquered their movement to a T, and know how to take fights. And I'll be discussing that later. But once you guys know how to take fights, this list will make a lot more sense, and you'll be able to work off it a lot more. But yeah, Magneto definitely in their favor, but it's still winnable against them, in my opinion. When the unwinnable ones are the ones in hard mode and below, in my opinion. Like, you almost never win against these people. Don't ever try and actively go after these people as Rocket. You will lose, and you will die, and you will make your whole team mad. So next, we have Mantis. Okay, the rest of the healers are... Look, all of the healers aren't in your favor. I mean, except Adam Warlock, but he's basically just a Hela with healing. But, all these healers are in your favor. You're like, oh yeah, sure. The other healer must be also in your favor, right? And wrong. Because this bitch. You know, I mean, Rocket is basically a pseudo dive. Let's be real. And oh my god, you already know what this bitch does to divers. She presses a button and then they go to sleep and then they're dead. It's like trying to avoid that sleep is the hardest part. Like, if you could stay up in the air, you are able to avoid it, but you're only able to stay up in the air for so long after so many dashes, and then eventually you get hit by sleep, and then at that point it's over. But it's pretty easy to win against her if you avoid that. But avoiding that is relatively hard. But she's still pretty easy to kill. You're hard to hit, as I've said it a billion times before. Just try and stay off the ground against her, and you'll be able to avoid her stun most of the times, but if she does stun you, just know that you're essentially dead. Ooh, next on the menu, yum, Moon Knight, ooh, yum. It's so yummy. Oh my god, I like eating Moon Knights alive, bro. Once you learn that you can just shoot a zonk very quickly as Rocket, and once you learn that he pretty much can't fucking hit you with his slow ass projectiles that have delayed throw time. He's basically free meat for you, like free food. He's a free buffet, man. Every single time. You just have to go after him though. If you just let him sit back and damage you, he will win. But the moment you go after him, it's like there's nothing he can fucking do. I mean, he's not the only one. I mean, in general, Moon Knight's just weak to getting run down, but I don't see any other Rockets going after Moon Knight. Even though, like, all you have to do is just avoid Zonk, which is pretty easy. Literally just dash out of the way of it or destroy it very quickly. And then he's pretty much just hopeless at that point. I hate to say it. He's really hopeless against you. Because he has to hit this tiny little speck on a screen that is dashing around sporadically like an autistic grandma on crack. And he has these delayed reaction time projectiles that travel very slowly and only do like, I mean, he throws 3 at once, but a single one I think only does like 40 damage. And if you're moving properly, he'll usually only be able to hit 1 on you with a headshot. And it only does like 40 damage. It does like nothing unless he's able to hit a right click on you and then maybe 1 set of like his primary fire, maybe then he'll be able to win. But it's unless you're caught by surprise by him, you usually win against Moon Knight. Like, it's pretty fucking easy. I mean, it's not pretty fucking easy. It's a walk in the park. I'm not even kidding you. If I see Moon Knight alone as Rocket, I'm going after that man. If I have nothing else to do, if I have no teammates to heal, he's so free. Alright, Namor is definitely in their favor. It's obviously not impossible to win. Shoot the squids first. Be dodging his trident while you're at it. But honestly, I'd put it closer to hard mode because he's just very good against types in general, but you actually have ranged util to take out a squid's worth. And once you take out his squids, you take away pretty much 40% of his power. But if he's able to actually hit his shots on you with his trident, it can be very deadly. But it is a projectile weapon still, so you're able to dodge it pretty well. But it's definitely still in the Namor's favor. I don't know. He's definitely a harder character to fight. I wouldn't put him in hard mode necessarily, but I'm going to leave him in their favor. Just know that he's towards hard mode, but definitely a lot easier to kill than the rest of the people I'm putting in hard mode. Alright, Peni Parker. She's made of fucking paper to Rocket, let's be real. Her head hitbox is the hugest out of all the tanks in the game, I think. She's very, very slow while she's trying to fight you. Like, incredibly slow. Like, she slows down to 50% movement speed while she's trying to fight you. You can dodge her snares very easily. Mines are not a problem since you can just stay off of the ground. If she has a penny nest nearby, just stay off of the ground and keep shooting it. Yeah, Penny is very weak to Rocket. I'm not gonna lie, you can kind of just shred her. If she doesn't have a high ground advantage, she's very easy to just shred as Rocket and just completely. You're really good at destroying her util. You're really good at destroying her, and you're very hard to hit. As well as her being very slow moving and having a huge head hitbox, and you having a very high damage shredding weapon. Yeah, she's basically made of paper to you. I'd put her in your favor. But I wouldn't say easy mode, just because of how much health she has. She does have the opportunity to still like web you, because she gets her web so often that she can just somehow hit you with a magical stun, and then once you get stunned and if you happen to fall into her nest, you're dead. But that's like a very, very niche scenario. Most of the time you're gonna win against Penny in a 1v1. Alright, next we have Psylocke. I'm not gonna lie, this is very, very tough. I know I'm gonna sound a little fucking crazy here, but if your movement is good enough and you know her attack patterns and to dodge when she does her first volley and her shurikens, I'd actually say it's a pretty fair fight after that. I know I'm gonna sound like a fucking psychopath, a fucking lunatic saying this. Oh my god, Psylocke is a fair fight against Rocket. But like, I actually think it is. like, if you've nailed your movement and you just know her attack patterns, that she does that 1-2 shuriken combo, if you dodge her shurikens, it's a fair fight after that. I definitely put her in leaning more towards in their favor, but I'd actually say it's a really fair fight. If she tries to escape you using her invisibility, obviously do the same thing as Loki, just and then reveal her, except this time she does have a better invisibility where she won't, like, stay, she will stay invisible still after getting hit. She'll just flicker like Spy does in TF2, but she only gets it for 3 seconds. So if you hit her, you can see where she's going and still chase her down. But like, yeah, really, if you know attack patterns well as Rocket Raccoon, I'd actually say it's leaning towards, definitely leaning towards a fair fight more. I know, kind of crazy, right? You think by anti-dive, Rocket is just like ignoring the dives. No, he's killing the dives. He's sort of killing the dives. I know, you're probably gonna think I'm crazy, but once you become good enough at Rocket and realizing like the attack patterns of people, Psylocke, I actually think it's actually a fair fight. I'm not even joking. Alright, Punisher. Punisher is a weird one. I don't know. I'd say fair fight, cause he has if he knows how to use a shotgun well, then it's honestly, shotgun still has an accuracy, so I don't even know if he, a shotgun is good against anybody at close range, let's be real, but you still have a very small hitbox, so like even with the shotgun out, he still has to hit that center mass shot on your entire body, and your body is small and you're dashing around, so even with the shotgun, I still feel like it's pretty fair fight. If with his assault rifle, it's very much in your favor. If he's trying to only use his assault rifle on you, it's very, very much in your favor. But if he pulls out the shotgun, it comes down to a fair fight. And most shotgun Punishers, or most Punishers, are starting to pull out shotguns during close range fights. So I definitely think it's a fair fight. Unfortunately, I would put him in your favor, but he has the shotgun, so rip. But yeah. Still winnable for sure, even against the shotgun. Like you definitely need to be using your mobility and your tininess to your advantage against the shotgun, but it's definitely winnable for sure. Alright, other rockets. Ignore. Same reason as Jeff. Dashing away, pressing mouse 2, ignoring you, dashing away, pressing mouse 2, ignoring you. You wasted time. And also, why would you want to kill your brothers unless it's in self-defense? You fucking monster. Leave your brothers alone. They just want to do their own thing. They just want to press mouse 2 and enjoy their life. They just want to live a peaceful existence away from the high evolutionary. And you need to support them. You need to go over there and give them a hug, maybe even add them and say, glad to see another Rocket Raccoon main. Love you, brother. Give them a hug. Tell them they're doing a good job. Tell them they're doing a good job healing. Don't kill them unless you actually have to. Unless, like, I don't know, you feel like being a monster, then that's okay. I respect that sometimes. But like, I don't know what it is about rockets. It's either you're either the type to always just go after other rockets because you feel like you have something to prove, or you're the type that is like always trying to make friends with them. And I seem to randomly just switch between the two some days. Some days I'm like, oh, I want to rocket diff that person, and I want to see if I can rub it in their face, or like, that's not very sportsmanlike, I know. But like, I don't know, I just get that feeling, and I feel like I see other rockets get that feeling too, or we're just completely friends instantaneously and we love each other, and we just meet up with each other in the sky, and then we press mouse 2 from a distance and heal both our teams like the true friends we are. And there's no in between. Those are rocket mains in a nutshell. So just ignore other rockets, really, just, you're wasting your time if you go after them, and why would you? Alright, Scarlet Witch is interesting. Scarlet Witch is a very interesting one. I'm gonna put it in fair fight, but with Scarlet Witch, it's very, very cut and dry. You either full on or run from them, or you full on take the combat with them, and there's no in between. If you do the in between, you're dead. If you start by doing the combat and you try to run, you are dead for sure, because they've already damaged you too much at that point, and they can track you with that through your movement. Just because she has auto aim, obviously. But like, you either have to run away or you have to commit to the combat. There's no other options. There's no in between. But if you do commit to the combat, you actually have a pretty decent chance of winning. You just have to learn, like, just try and dash out of the way of her missiles mostly, and then just try and out-damage her. You can out-damage her beam alone, but if you get hit by the missiles, you're in a sorry state. But it's definitely a fair fight in my opinion. But you have to either choose to commit, or choose to run away at the first sight of seeing her. And there's no in-between. If you do the in-between, you are dead, almost for sure. Okay, Spider-Man. Very much a hard mode character. I have won against Spider-Man before, but same thing as Magik. They can kind of just, well, not same thing as Magik. He can, if you are winning against him, he can kind of just fucking run away. Same thing as you do. Like, if he's trying to kill you, I know, like, Spider-Man like to say that Rocket Raccoon is the only one the only hero that he's really good against. But, like, honestly, if you just stay near corners, or if you're a good Rocket Raccoon like me, if you try to grapple a Rocket Raccoon Spider-Man and he just dashes around a corner, you lose him. But a lot of the times you can't do that as a Rocket, which is why I can get why they say he's pretty strong. But, like, usually you're near his other healers. If you just spam 1 or 2 orbs at the ground, you're able to outdo one of his uppercuts, so you're able to sometimes get away after that. Obviously, he's in hard mode for a reason. He's still killable. I've killed some Spider-Man before. It's very difficult though. Obviously, don't go looking for 1v1's from him. He's in hard mode because you don't want to go after him. He comes after you. But, like, if you're good enough at your movement, you can escape Spider-Man as Rocket and still live. But you have to have really good movement. Otherwise, yeah, Rocket's definitely the weakest healer in the game to Spider-Man. Just being real. But, like, yeah, like, if you eventually learn that to stick near walls and corners, if he tries to grapple you from around a corner, his grapple will break. And that's why he's not, you'd think he'd be the lowest tier right here, the purple tier. No, he's still in hard mode tier. He's still very difficult to deal with, but he's not the purple tier character. The purple tier character is reserved for someone very special. And I think you're probably narrowing it down right now, knowing that Rocket is very weak to grapples and stuns. Yeah, so look at who's remaining on here and think, like, oh, who has a ton of grapples and a ton of stuns. I'll wait for you to think about it a little bit more. But it'll become more and more apparent as we go on. But yeah, Spider-Man, obviously don't actually try to kill him. You're wasting your time, and if he tries to kill you, just try and escape as best as possible. Like, there's not really even a 1v1 here. It's just whoever is able to just, like, kill each other or escape. Not really an exchange going on here, because if you try to kill him, he just runs away. If he tries to kill you, you can just run away sometimes, but, like, he has a better chance of killing you in that exchange, is what I'm saying here. That's why he's in hard mode. So, like, there's not really a fight here. It's just, like, he either gets you or he doesn't. Alright, Squirrel Girl. I'm thinking of putting her in your favor, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna throw her in easy mode here, just because it's a similar it's literally actually just a straight up Scout and Demo Man counter. She can, but except Demo Man has a stun this time, so if she hits you with her stun, you're basically dead. But same thing as the rule with stuns from other characters like Luna Snow. If you dodge the stun, you pretty much win every time. I hate to say it. The only thing that keeps Luna Snow from being in easy mode is that she can just ult to save her own life. But, like, obviously Squirrel Girl doesn't have that, so once you dodge her stun, it's pretty easy to win against her. Just keep on bobbing and weaving, and she won't be able to hit her projectiles on you. Just stay out of enclosed spaces. Obviously, don't follow her through a choke point, through a doorway. Try and keep her in a room. She's pretty easy to kill once you obviously dodge her stun. Alright, Star-Lord. I was originally thinking of putting that in their favor. I'm putting him in fair fight, but leaning towards in their favor. It is definitely very much a more... well, I don't know why I'm about to say it's leaning towards fair fight after it says leaning towards in their favor. But I'm still leaving him in fair fight, because the way Star-Lord works is that he does a lot of damage in a very small burst in a very fast mag, which he's forced to reload pretty much every single time he shoots. So if he does hit you, you're dead, especially with a volley of headshots. But if he doesn't hit you, because you're moving around, then you're not dead, and you have a pretty decent chance of killing you. But if he gets you low with a first volley or with a decent tracking, and he does press Q, you might have a problem. But you can then just dash away out of the Q, and then press mouse 2 a couple times, and then re-engage the fight, and have a good chance of winning still. So I definitely put him in fair fight, but it's just know that it's a little bit in their favor. Just slightly towards in their favor a bit more, but it is fair fight at the end of the day if you're able to move and outmaneuver his bursts and force him to reload and shoot at him while he's reloading, and just try not to take the damage in the first place. And then obviously if you press his Q, just dash out of that and then shoot him from outside of the Q. Alright, next we have Storm. You're probably like, oh wait, Storm is like Iron Man, she's like just stuck in the air and she's very easy to hit. Well, the problem with Storm is that she's absolutely fucking broken now, and she doesn't even have to aim to do 80 damage to you, I'm pretty sure. 80 damage? I'm not sure if that's right. It feels like a fuck ton of damage, I'm not gonna lie. And it just, like, she can do it, I think it strikes twice? Maybe 3 times if I'm not correct? I don't even know, I'll probably look that up later. But, like, I hate that she doesn't even have to aim. But after she uses that, then she does have to aim, but her hit reg on her wind blades are very lenient. It's like maybe you'll even have a bit of trouble then, but like after she uses her auto killing ability, which is very, very, very much not broken, NetEase, and her boost as well. Please nerf that, NetEase, please, for Christ's sake. After she uses that, it's very much in your favor still. Very, very much winnable like Iron Man. The only thing keeping her out of easy mode is obviously that inescapable 80 damage lightning strike. I don't understand why they added it to the game. It's very, very weird. Just not very, honestly, just not very fun. Like, why the fuck is there an AoE inescapable 80 damage thing? What the fuck? Who made this fucking game? Anyways, moving on. Next we have Thor. Thor is very interesting. I think I'm gonna throw him in their favor. He's pretty easy to shred. It's very easy to see his dashes coming, which means you can just dash out of the way of his dash, and you're pretty much safe after that. I would honestly just I wouldn't say ignore him because you can still kill him, but like I would ignore him most of the time. But if he's like even like slightly fumbling a bit, I would just say like, yeah, you could probably kill him. But like if he does hit you with that wide ass swing range of his, he does a lot of damage. And if he does activate that, I don't even know what it's called. One of my friends is a Thor man. He know instantly what it's called. You know, the fucking lightning that does a lot of damage. I'll just leave it at that. Then it's pretty easy to dodge those too. But if they do hit you, oh man, they do a lot of damage though. But once you dodge those, and he's left with his melee swings, he's a very dodgeable character. It's definitely still in his favor, but out of all the people in their favor, I actually think he's the one that's closest to fair fight, but it's definitely still in their favor. He's very dodgeable though. So if you want to ignore him, it's pretty easy to ignore him. But if you actually want to fight him, it's definitely a little tough, but it's still definitely doable. It's very much in their favor, so. Or not very much, but it's definitely still in their favor, so. Just be aware of that. Alright, Venom. I should need no explanation for this, but apparently a lot of rockets don't know this. The whole point of Venom is to draw your attention away from healing. Wow, what a crazy concept. The character that can have over 18 fucking billion health is meant to dive the enemy healers and distract them from healing their actual teammates. Wow, that's crazy. So literally, if you see a Venom, just dash away. If he like dives, see him coming, dash up. If you get lashed, dash again, ignore him, keep on healing your team, don't even bother with him unless he's low HP already. Like, just ignore him. Seriously, you have the capabilities of Rocket to just like straight up say, nah, I'm just, not gonna give you attention, bro. I'm not gonna feed you, bro. Sorry, I know you're hungry, but raccoon's not on the fucking menu, bro. You can't even catch up with me, dude. Like, you're not even on my level, bro. Get on my fucking level. So yeah, just ignore Venom. He's just a little goober. He's just there to say hi. So yeah, moving on from Venom to Bucky. Very, very totally not broken character. I don't feel like enough people know that this character is secretly broken. They just don't want to admit it because everybody plays him. But yeah, very, very strong character. He can just do everything. And then on top of that, like Magik, he can just pull infinite health out of his ass and infinite ammo out of his ass. So it is very, very, very fucking annoying to fight him. And as I said before, you're very weak to grapples as Rocket. And Bucky is no exception. His grapples hitbox is like, I don't know what it is. It's just really, really fucking lenient. And I hate it. Because once you get grappled as Rocket, he pretty much has a free headshot on you, and you're essentially dead after that. So grappled equals death. Even if you don't get grappled, and if you do decide to damage him, and if you do damage him, he can just use any of his abilities, gain his ammo back, and gain bonus health. So it's like, it's true pain just fighting a Bucky sometimes. It's true pain. It's very difficult to win. Like, ugh, man. This character sucks to fight against. Just not, I don't know. I don't think enough people just realize how powerful Bucky is, or they don't want to admit he's overpowered because everybody fucking plays him, and everybody will hate you if you admit he's overpowered. But I think he's overpowered, and people just don't fucking realize it. I'm just being real. I don't think people realize just how good this character actually is because they don't want to admit it. But yeah, Bucky, grapple equals death. Don't. Just don't. Very anti-fun time. Alright, Wolverine. I actually kind of don't know, I'm not gonna lie. I'm thinking of, he can honestly be anywhere from in their favor to ignore to fair fight. But I'm gonna put him in fair fight on a limb here, just because you're the lowest HP character in the game. You have the ability to dodge him, and if he's running straight at you, your volleys will obviously hit, which a lot of Wolverines will sometimes when they can't catch up with people. They'll just run straight at you or dash straight at you, and obviously all your shots will fucking hit if he's running straight at you, and you'll just shred him pretty quickly. But if he does grab you, then he does a fuck ton of damage to you, but he won't kill you though. He won't kill you, but he does a fuck ton of damage. You'll dash away very damage, and if he has his right click available, he can still do a lot of damage to you. He still won't kill you, but he can definitely be kind of a menace. He will kill you if you're below like 200 HP, so be very careful. But I'd say it's a pretty fair fight if you're able to dodge him, or if he's able. It just comes down to whoever is able to dodge or whoever is able to grab. If Wolverine is able to grab, it's in his favor. If you're able to dodge, it's in your favor. It just comes down to that pretty much. All right. Well, I think it's finally time to talk about Mr. Fantastic. Oh God. Oh dear fucking Christ. This is the cream. Like, this is the hard counter to Rocket. Need I explain why? Except the fact that Rocket is weak to grappling, and Mr. Fantastic has fucking 4 of them. Yeah, 4. Wait, 3 or 4. I don't fucking know. It's a fucking lot of grapples, and you can't escape him. He has the most lenient fucking melee hit in the game. Like, it's not even close by a mile. And he does a fuck ton of damage when he hits you. If he's in a super form, just accept your fucking fate, brother. If he's not in a super form, stay within give him like 20 meters distance. Like, stay 20 meters away from this man at all times. If he's somewhat near you and he knows that he's good against you, he will latch right to you, and he will make your raccoon booty into a very, very nice hat. Yeah, he's a fucking menace against you. playing Mr. Fantastic and going after rockets is like a walk in the park. The poor little raccoons. They can't run away from the guy who can just press a button and instantly catch up with you 3 times. Yeah, and just like everything about this character just screams countering rocket. If he gets within 20 meters of you, you're essentially dead if you're alone. You can't kill him. He's another character that can just keep on bowling bonus health out of his ass. He can obviously just transform into this 1000 HP or 900, 800 HP. I don't even fucking know. 600 HP, some like a lot of health to the point where you won't even be able to damage him. Type of health is what I'm talking about. So literally, he's literally unkillable to you. He can kill you so easily. He can catch up to you easily. He has very lenient swing range. Oh my fucking god. Swing range. There we go. Good job, Logan. You fucking said it. You dyslexic little goofball. He's a long swing range. Jesus fucking Christ, guys. I need a moment. I'm sick. Long swing range, lenient swing, lenient hitbox, lots of bonus health, grappling, multiple grapples on top of that, and he can just make himself invincible anyway, so if you try to kill him, you literally can't. He's impossible to kill as rocket, and he can catch up to you and kill you easily. He is the hardest counter to your character in the game possible. Stay 20 meters away from him at all times. Constantly be keeping tabs on him. If he's a Mr. Fantastic main and he knows that you're weak against him, switch off rocket. I'm not even fucking kidding you. Switch off rocket. That's literally the only answer. That's how hard this character counters you. Switch off rocket. If he knows what he's doing on Mr. Fantastic. It's actually criminal how hard counter you get by this character. So yeah, I don't want to talk about this character anymore. I have PTSD from him. Big Reed is scary. Watch out for Big Reed. Yeah, I have nightmares. I'm sorry, guys. I'm recovering. I need a moment to just breathe. Jesus fucking Christ, Reed, leave me alone. Reed, I don't want to be turned into a taxidermy, Reed, please. Leave me alone. Okay, I've recovered now. I've taken deep breaths. Okay. Alright. Now to finally get to the final character. His wife, Invisible Woman. Invisible Woman is pretty easy to kill. Her damage is very, very much based off of what she can hit and reflect off of. So if you're in an open area and you're just dodging her, she pretty much can't damage you. She can go invisible, but obviously remember you have the brrr, and you can just reveal her again. But she gets her invisibility more often than Loki does, so that can be annoying. But like if she's exposed to you, she's a really easy kill. So yeah, I'm putting her in your favor. And there you guys go. That's the list. If you see Mr. Fantastic, run. Goodbye.